Are we live?
Welcome.
Yeah, we're recording.
Welcome,
Yay.
friends. And I just want to say we are here today to celebrate the women in the world who own their worth. And my name is Lila Veronica. You may know me already if you're new to me. I help women grow businesses and own their wealth and get their body into alignment so they don't wear themselves out and burn themselves out. And I can tell you guys how to do it all day long, but what I've chosen to do instead is bring some women in who actually are doing it. So before we get started, we're going to get started at the top of the hour. We have Swara Nanda here, and she's going to introduce herself. And she's playing some music for the next 10 minutes or so. I'll go ahead and let you take it away.
Awesome. Thank you so much for creating this online space. You know, running out of reasons to feel bummed out because I can't see people, because here we are and there's like people I'm meeting for the first time. So thank you for that. And my name is Swara Nanda. I'm with Denver Meditation Center online. And what I specialize in is combining music and meditation. So when the music is full spectrum, and most people think of meditation as stillness and quiet, which is an element of meditation. But I have a weekly meditation that I host online. It's called Wake Up and Dance. It's from 8 till 9 on Tuesday mornings. So I'm already infused. I've already done this whole meditation, moving the body and opening up all of the chakra and energy centers, getting aligned and infused and engaged. And music is a big part of it. So I'm just going to put some music on and we can just feel the different mood that the music demands. And choose to uplift our energy. You know, it's so easy to feel that heavy blanket of discouragement, or the news is getting on my nerves, or I can't see people the way I used to, or go out to my favorite restaurant. So if we spend time intentionally moving our energy up and let the music open up that environment within, it's pretty powerful. We can choose what channel our headspace, our body space, our energy space is. Because we're more than just our physical bodies, right? We are an energy body in the truth of who we are. And meditation is a chance to open up and expand that energy into our whole room. Hey! So it's like being annoyingly perky with yourself first thing in the morning. That's how I like to wake up my husband. I'd have this dance routine. The sun is coming up and it's a bright sunshining day. And it's even like, it's beyond even my own mood, right? But it uplifts. It brings that energy up.
So you're Anna, basically.
Higher vibration. Say it again.
So you're Anna, basically. The sky is awake, so I'm awake.
The sky is awake. The birds are singing. It's snowing outside. Yay! Precipitation. So it's a kind of sometimes a fake it till you make it kind of thing. Sometimes so you just don't feel like celebrating life, right? But you know, if you think about people like Tony Robbins. You know, before he goes to be in front of a crowd of people, what's he do? He jumps up and down on his trampoline. He gets that energy moving. You know, we hear about breath in meditation. So it's like when you move your body and vibrate at a high enough frequency, your breath naturally increases. And so that's just opening up, aligning, and infusing our energy space. So it can be infused with divine source, divine presence to guide us and give us information that we otherwise wouldn't tap into. So yes, annoyingly perky first thing in the morning. It's a magical thing.
That doesn't know what he's doing. He said he wants to sell his produce and make some money. And that's exactly what we're going to do for him. I'm trying to put Green Family Farms on the map.
There we go. Get that music back. Notice the difference from when the music was there and then it stopped and then it was like, wait, where are we? What's happening now? So the mood, you know, like playing the music for the mode. So this is a song about being a winner, right? It's like when we find that space inside of ourselves, we tap into who we are, women who own their worth. That is what being a winner is, right? It's not dependent on the external circumstances, right? Like only when I have 20 people in my audience or 200 people or 2,000 people, only then will I have my worth, right? No, that is now. It's happening now. We step into being who we want to be. So we're going to be that winner. Yeah, annoyingly perky first thing in the morning. Gotta love it. Yeah, okay, jazz hands, everyone. The magic of it. All right. See, all of the energy centers open. The people who just comment, I just spent the last hour dance meditating, so I'm like able to be a fool. And it's so freeing. So yeah, for a speaking event, lose yourself in some music and move your body. Get that energy flowing, that presence, right? That presence that's connected to everything and everyone. This is what meditation is for me. And it's also this, but it's all encompassing. 2 minutes before the hour, we're going to our wonderful women who own their worth, sharing their wisdom. Woo! Woo! Shake like a fool. It's that kundalini energy, right? Crazy. Who can't love that, you know? Thank you, Lila, for allowing me to spread my wings. We're all winners for showing up and giving. In that giving, we receive. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I am so jazzed about being here. And I'm going to turn this over to Lila.
Beautiful, 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 beautiful. Can we get an amen? Can we get a hurrah? Can we get a sparkle fingers? Who doesn't love music in the morning? Who doesn't love a little bit of I have often actually said, I go, you know, I'm not the kind of woman you want to wake up with if you're not a morning person. Because I love the morning. I love to get the day going. I love to get, you know, rocking and rolling. And if you're not a morning person, I'm like, I got to get away from you real quick because I'm going to annoy the, you know what, out of you if you're not careful. Get your coffee, brother or sister, and then come my way because I'm real chipper in the morning. So I love this idea of, what did you call it here? Annoyingly perky. Annoyingly perky.
Yes, it's wake up and dance.
That's for us morning folks, right?
And then we've got somebody who said at 2 a.m.
We got annoyingly perky Laura Pence Atencio night owl over here, right? She's at night. Like you'll see sometimes I got to go out at night for something, business or something, and I'll be sitting there like this.
And I'm ready to
sweatshirt and a snack in my lap. I'm like, what? It's like, I am not a night person, you know, it's a little bit harder for me. So I really appreciate this, you know, music in the morning. And what I would say is many of our East Coast are like, is it morning? It's noon. So annoyingly perky in the middle of the day, whatever, all of it. I appreciate that. So what we're here today, you know, just thank you so much for bringing your joy, bringing, you know, before we get started, I want to give you a mad shout out, because you said winners, you know, winners are about showing up and receiving. And what I would say is you reached out to me when you saw I was doing this and say, hey, I'd love to add value to what you're offering. That's what this is about. Collaborating, connecting, supporting one another so that everybody wins. Like, I'm loving it, you're loving it. And I guarantee there's people out there that are going to see this now and later that are loving it. And that's what this show is about. So thank you for being here. Thank you for that. It's so great. So for everybody, we're just getting started. Our speakers are here. We've got guests here on Zoom. We've got guests on the live. And as a reminder, I'm Lila Veronica, and I help women grow businesses, move their bodies in a way that elevates really so they can step into their worth, but also doesn't wear them out. I'm all about growing without burnout for women. And I talk about this a lot. And instead of talking about it this year, I said, what if I bring women in who are actually doing it? Women who are owning their worth in the world. And what we're going to do is I've done a few interviews like this already, and there's a few pieces that I really feel are very important. I'm going to have each woman, you know, number one, introduce themselves first. And then I'm going to ask them, what does owning your worth mean to you? Because it's something different to each woman. And yet what I'm finding is there's also a trend. So let's go ahead. The first person I'm going to bring out is Laura Pence Atencio. And before I bring her out, I'm actually just going to tell a story, because Laura's been with me through my entire, I would say my entire business journey where I've been making money. Where I wasn't making money, you weren't there. When I was making money, you were there. So you got something to do with it. She actually has been one of my tech friends from the get-go. She helped me put my first Facebook page up, my first, you know, Facebook group. We would go to a co-working space, her co-working space. I'd come over and we'd have lunch and work all day. And it would take me 12 hours just to figure out how to like somebody's comment. And she'd be like, just like it. And I'd be like, what do I do? And so we met at a business event. And what I love about Laura is, what I always share is we have the same birthday. We have the same birthday. So Laura Pence Atencio, welcome, welcome. Let everybody know, what do you do? Who are you? And what does owning your worth mean to you?
Hi, thank you. Yes, I'm so glad we met at that business event. It's been years now, many years, but we do have the same birthday, but you're a year younger, so. But yes, I'm Laura Pence Atencio, and I work with speakers, authors, and podcasters who are coaches selling programs and services. I show them and help them discover how to increase their impact and income without sacrificing their freedom, especially time freedom. As women, we have a tendency to sacrifice and give too much of ourselves and do all the things, and that needs to stop. So there's that. And I own a digital marketing agency that supports the same folks and gets work done for them so they can actually keep their time freedom and still have an amazing online presence where people get through the entire customer journey strategy, or customer journey, which I provide the strategy, but all the way from awareness through sale to actually loving on people and delivering on your promise, and then retention, working with the people you already work with, ascension, offering them more, and then referral marketing, because once you've created a community, it's not all about getting new people in all the time. And we don't really actually need that many people in our community to be successful. We just need a small group of people who really love us, and then we can all succeed together. So that's what I do. And there was the first question. Let me scroll up so I can see it.
So I'll go ahead and ask you. So what does it mean to you in your personal life journey and your experience to own your worth?
I think it just means recognizing your value. I am an Enneagram 8/7 and a Taurus, as you know, but my whole life I've march to the beat of my own drummer. I've always done my own thing. I've always been that weirdo misfit person who shows up and says, well, I'm going to do what I'm going to do, and y'all can come along or get out of my way. And for a long time, I felt like that made me not good. Like, I was just like, I'm going to do what I want, but most people didn't really like it. So I thought that meant that I was just, I don't know, broken, weird, when actually I was just a born leader. And I did have some people who would be like, oh yeah, no, I want to be on, and they'd come with me. And so just knowing that I'm here for a purpose, and that I have a God-given talent that the world needs, and that I need to show up and provide that for the people who are my people, and just let everybody else go about their business. That's what it means to me.
Beautiful. I think what I want to say is, that was great. One of the things I really like what you shared there says, you said, let everybody else go about their business. It's like being the example, owning your own value, and then being the example by letting everybody else do their own thing too. I really love that. Cool. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for inviting me.
Yeah. Cheryl, come on out. I'm so excited that you're able to join us, and you look gorgeous, darling. It's been too long.
It's been too long. How are you?
Good to see you. I'm great. I'm so happy to be here. So go ahead and tell everybody, what is it you do in the world? How do you help people? And then what does it mean to you to own your worth?
Well, I'm a former TV broadcaster, and I have done, thousands of hours of live broadcasting over my career. And I've turned that into video marketing now for coaches, consultants, speakers, and authors, and people who need to be positioned as authorities in their niche in order to gain more influence, impact, and income in their businesses. So how we do that is, one way is that we coach and train people. We have live stream trainings and challenges that we host. And we also do virtual video production, where we work with a lot of agencies to support their clients to do better for them with video. So that's in short what I do. And of course, you can see my website is right there. In answer to the question of what it is to own your worth, I think it's really about understanding, again, to Laura's point, understanding your value and not underselling yourself. I think this is particularly important for people who are starting out, because you don't have any frame of reference to know, where should I price myself? What is value? I'm talking about from an income perspective. I see a lot of people, especially in the coaching and consulting world, they are selling themselves short. They don't see the value in what it is that they're providing. They're thinking about it from a hourly perspective. It's like, well, I'm charging $50 an hour, let's say, but yet the transformation that they're actually providing to people is worth way more than $50. So I think it's just this idea that sometimes it's just a case of you don't know what you don't know, and that you have to have been in it for a little while, or have had that mentorship to see some real life examples of other people who are charging what they're worth, right? $350 an hour, for example. So if the transformation that you offer is worth more than what you're charging, right? You need to, but sometimes you don't have a frame of reference. So I think that owning your worth means confidence, of course, but it really is about, what is the value of the transformation that I'm providing through the work that I do?
That is amazing. Yes, and 100% yes. If we give her some sparkle fingers if we feel, yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm excited to be here. I think this is a great topic, especially for women, especially in the world that we live in right now, right? It's really about owning your worth, and this is what's going to transform the world.
Yes, I just love this. And I think that's great. I think almost every woman here would agree. And a lot of us do work like that. And it's about charging for the transformation, not charging for this hourly. And I've worked with a lot of women, and you probably as well, that shift from corporate to their own business. And there's still that mindset around hourly and overworking and all of that, instead of just doing some work, giving some great transformation, and not having to work all that much.
Yeah, well, it's this shift from employee to entrepreneur. And I'm not saying that that's necessarily a transition that everybody wants to have. Some people are perfectly happy being employees. I just happen to have not been that person. So I really like the idea of being my own boss. and being able to see examples, I think, of people who have come ahead of me and who are further along the journey than me, to use those people as examples of, to say, okay, well, if they're doing it, then why can't I?
Beautiful. I love it. If they're doing it, why can't I? And that's exactly why we're here, to give some examples. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Being here, joining us. Appreciate it. We'll be back around to you guys for a couple more questions after Alexa, darling. Welcome. Thank you so much for being here. Please let everybody know, what do you do in the world? And what does it mean to you to own your work?
Well, thank you so much for having me here, Lila. Love you, and so honored to be amongst all of you beautiful women. So my name is Alexa. I am a intuitive healer and business coach, as well as a spiritual podcast host. And my passion is working with women to help them process their emotional blocks so that they can truly tap into their purpose, their gift, their magic that they're here to give, and be financially supported and thriving while doing so. And so in terms of the question of, what does it mean to really own your worth? I think that it's really about taking that personal / spiritual journey within yourself, to really ask yourself and get to know yourself and ask yourself, who am I? And what is it that I'm here to share? And what is my gift? What is the thing that has always just come naturally to me and then just lit me up when I do it? And I think the reason that people can get confused is that, we look around at other people and we go, oh, well, that person's worth is that person's value is that. And we're so comparative, when in actuality, we're all so unique and have such beautiful, unique gifts to share. And so, to own your worth is really to do that inner journey and ask yourself, what is that special thing that I have that makes me feel energized and abundant and creative and alive? And then to share that, even if it might be something that others perceive as small, maybe you're a really good listener, and the world might tell you, well, what's the world going to value that? It's so valuable. There's so many people that are needing what you have to share, no matter how big or small it may seem. And so to own your worth is to really tap into that and own that and embrace that so that you can share it with those who need it.
That's beautiful. I love how you brought being a good listener and how much value that is. I mean, everybody here, I can guarantee, has some higher level of listening than maybe others because of the kind of work you do. And you have to listen. And I really believe that women listen on this subtle level, even this feeling level. We all do, of course, not just women, but women have a little bit of many of us, a heightened sense. A lot of the women I work with, especially. And so that listening factor is really beautiful. I love that alone being of value is super big. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. So I'm going to bring Laura back out, and I'm going to ask Laura, from your experience in your own life, in your own journey, and working with women in your business and along the way, what do you see as the biggest blocks for women right now?
Okay, well, there's so many. There's so many blocks. But I think one of the things that I've seen holding women back is the need to present a curated sense of perfection to the world, to show up only when we have on makeup, only when we're dressed up, only when we're ready. And I have made a commitment to the folks in my private Facebook group that I will show up when I have thoughts that need to be shared and share them. And I'm not going to stop to do my hair or put on makeup. And I camp a lot, so I might even be dirty, not from not showering, but from hiking and being in nature. I could have a leaf in my hair, who knows? But I'm just going to show up and give value, because I find that most men get on camera and share what's in their head when they're out jogging or when they've been to the gym, or they're not wearing makeup. Now, for stage presentations and planned events and things where there's going to be video and photography, of course we should put on appropriate clothing and makeup. But in our everyday lives, we have value when we're not made up, and we should not hide and wait until we are perfect, because there's no such thing anyway. So I'm done with that. I'm just showing up. And I think that that would make sense for a lot of women.
I'm going to repeat that for everybody to hear. Yeah, we got some amens, we got some claps. I love that. And I couldn't help to write in there, it's okay to have a leaf in your hair. Number one.
That's right.
That's great. You know, I'll tell you, I often don't get on camera unless I used to get on camera more when I didn't have makeup on, and now I've learned how to do makeup, I guess, for camera. And so now I know how. And so I wait until, you know, I do that and get on. So I love this, but
you're fabulously beautiful and have flawless skin without any makeup. So you're blessed. So you're lucky. You have an advantage anyway. But regardless, I don't care if I have a pimple on my face. It does not matter. I don't care if I've gained 20 pounds and I look frumpy. It does not matter. Hiding behind some perceived imperfection in myself is just denying other people the value that is inside. So I don't feel that it's fair that if women are overweight, or if they have a weird nose, or any physical perceived imperfection, who are we to judge God's work? You are perfect the way you are, and you don't need anything more to show up and serve. That's it. So
if we were in church, we'd be just, woo!
Yeah,
we'd be going, you know, what are the speaker events, you know, raise your hand. Or
that feeling of not enough or not ready, you know, enough of that. Women, we are overcritical of ourselves and overcritical of each other, which needs to stop as well. And that's not in this group, but as a general out in the world, we're not afraid that the men are going to make fun of us. It's the other women who are mean. So that mean girl stuff holds women back. And that's why spaces like what you've created are important, because it allows us to show up and share naturally without any fear of being torn down, because we're only building each other up. So showing up and showing kindness are what women need to break through their blocks, I think.
Thank you. And you have done a lot of that for me and many other people. And like I said, I've created my online presence and started with your help, because I was like, what the heck is this Facebook thing? So I just want to repeat this. You said, we have value when we are not made up. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. Thank you for sharing, Laura. I'm going to bring Sheryl out. Sheryl, you know, in your own journey, and as you've worked with many women over the years, what have you seen? What do you feel like is the biggest block to women in terms of their success right now?
It's all vanity, no doubt. It's a lot. Well, maybe it's not all vanity. A good percentage of it is vanity. And to play off what Laura just said, totally agree. And I think that, listen, today I did my hair. I did put makeup on today. You know, I did, but I don't necessarily feel like I have to do that in order to get on camera to share my message. You know, I dolled myself up a little bit for you today, but there are many, many videos out there of me on a walk with not a stitch of makeup on, with my hair pulled back, greasy hair back in a bun, with a ball cap on. Lots of videos like that you can find. And I actually really made a concerted effort when I left television, which is a very curated, perfectionist type of world. I had to make a concerted effort to do that on purpose and really force myself to be seen that way in order to make, I think, the impression and to send the message that I wanted to send to everyone, that video should be something that we embrace regardless of our sense of vanity. There was recently a post, someone posted on Facebook, and they were asking, you know, what is the thing, they're doing a poll, I think, you know, what is holding you back from getting on camera? It was part of another group. And almost every single answer was, and it was a women's group, and almost every single answer had to do with themselves and how they looked. I'm fat, this, my hair's not done, my teeth are crooked, my nose, I need a nose job, I won't get on camera 50 pounds overweight, I gotta lose the weight first. I don't have the right clothes. I mean, it went on and on and on, and it was so disheartening. And I'm thinking, okay, if we really look through this thread of all the value that these women could provide, if only they could get past that and not make it about themselves, imagine what kind of transformation and what kind of world we'd live in if they could put themselves aside and put other people's interests before their own. Then we would see massive transformation. So it's really, I think, important to do that and think about, you know, I'm not saying don't dress up or don't wear makeup. If that makes you happy, then do that. But it's not what is a prerequisite to sharing your message.
That's amazing. I mean, I was actually very interested to hear what you were going to say, because you're the, you know, video marketing expert. You're, you know, I was curious, and actually, you know, Laura's taught a lot of this too. So it's curious. I was wondering if you were going to, what you were going to say. And I just love that you came right out like, no, you don't need it. If you got a
Well,
message,
listen, if
share
you
it.
want to do it, you know, do it if it makes you happy. If it makes you happy and that's how you like to present yourself, but don't let that be the thing that holds you back from sharing your message if it's really based around your vanity. If that's the thing that's holding you back, then there's a problem. But if you like to dress up, then that's what you do. You present yourself the way that you want to present yourself. Yeah, for sure. And listen, I come from television. There is no other place more controlled than that. I used to have to sign, you know, contracts that said I would not change my hair without their consent, you know, drastically change my hair or color or anything like that. So, you know, this is a very controlled environment where looks is a very big part of it. And so I have to make an effort to try to dissuade people from thinking that they have to reach that level of look, you know, in order to be able to share their message, because it's not necessary, which is a great thing. That's what I love about social media. That's what I love about online. It is a come as you are type of environment.
It is true. That's so beautiful. I think that's a you know, a thread so far is come as you are. You don't have to be different. You don't have to wait. And we've got even some people here talking about how there's, I won't mention names just in case you want to be private, but you know, didn't feel, somebody even here today doesn't feel as comfortable on camera, a little bit of thing going on, couldn't wear some makeup, and prefers to be on video, you know, with makeup. And so it's really nice to share this. And there's probably a lot of women out there. And if you need help, there's me, and I can connect you to all these women, and, you know, to really help you if there's something you need help with your look, just so you feel good, and, you know, and all of that. And I actually, I love this topic. I didn't know this was going to come up so much today. So I'm going to bring out Alexa, because she's got some pretty cool insight from her work, from her life experience, and she works with women as well. And so what are you seeing as the block to their success right now?
Oh, I love this topic too. My perspective is I think it's kind of related to what the others have shared, and it's people pleasing. Um, in my experience, and in my experience with my clients, and in my experience with myself, you know, I think my own experience is my biggest teacher. The tendency for women in particular to care so much about what everyone else thinks, and also trying to please everyone, it completely hinders our power, you know, because for example, I know men, there's so many men that they don't have a problem taking a strong stance. They don't have a problem saying, this is what I believe, and standing behind it. And that gives them a lot of power. That gives them a lot of power with their clients. That gives them a lot of power with their message. But when we as women were so concerned with making sure everyone feels comfortable and making sure everyone feels okay, and I don't want to offend this person and I don't want to offend this person, it completely just, and I'll even speak for myself, just diminishes everything that's coming through me that I truly want to say, whether I'm speaking in a forum like this or I'm talking to a client and there's something they really need to hear, right? It's like when I'm so concerned with accommodating and pacifying and, you know, making sure we're all friends, the power, I think, to do our job and to help people with these transformations is just completely diminished. And so, yeah, I think people pleasing is a really, really big obstacle for women in particular.
Yeah, I love this. You said that our power diminishes when we people please.
Mhm.
I
Yeah.
can't have as many people. I love this. And we've got a comment here. Cancel culture is scaring people also. So it's
Ugh.
even more people pleasing. Like, and I tell you what, I've been through in just the past week about a couple things. I'm like, did I say the wrong thing?
Yeah.
Oops.
And you know,
One of the 70s.
and you know what?
But this is what it is, because I'm the same thing, trying to people please, trying to get it right instead of
Yeah.
having good intention.
And we're like projecting out this idea of perfectionism, or we're trying to, when in actuality, we're all human. And isn't that such an admirable thing to show our humanness and really let ourselves be seen in that? Because I think as we continue to project these ideas of perfectionism, you know, they're constantly being let down every single time, right? People are finding the hole in this perfect image. And in actuality, we're all just humans learning constantly and growing constantly. And I think we need to be more comfortable with sharing that, because that is what's inspiring to other people, not this idea going back to the makeup, right? Which I actually am someone who, I totally love what you shared, Laura, because when I first started my business and starting my channels and stuff, I would always share whether I was, you know, from the gym or whatever. But over time I was like, you know what, I want to embody something more. And so that's when I started to get into makeup and clothes, just to enhance that, but I can do it without. But it goes back to this idea of, you know, the perfectionism or this perfect image. We really need to show our humanism and feel comfortable in that, because that inspires other people to say, oh, I can do this. If this person is doing this, then I can do this too. I don't have to be perfect before I start sharing. I'm seeing this modeled in front of me. I can just share right now. So yeah, we're all just humans. Exactly.
I love this. Yeah, this is great. And this goes along, you know, I have this, for anybody who's worked with me before, you know, I talk about the way I coach is ready, fire, aim. Go for it. You'll figure it out. The experience is how you figure it out. It's like the planning, the thinking, all the planning, all the aiming, I believe there's value to it, and it's a bit of a waste of time, especially in the beginning if you're starting something new. It's like just wing it, you'll figure it out. And so I think that's what the common thread here is like, hey ladies, if you want to get out there and own your worth, and there's anything within you that's worried about what other people think about you, or you are even judging yourself about how you look, bring awareness to it. If you need help, you got resources here to, you know, help you get through that, and then show up. Like, you would be surprised, like everybody here says, is, you know, there's women that are with makeup, not with makeup, beautiful backgrounds, normal backgrounds, like all the things. It's all okay. Just show up. Yeah. So now let's get down. I want to bring forward a couple ideas for women in particular of how can you create wealth right now? Because this past year has been a little bit wild, a little bit of a wild ride for some people. And I would say this is a perfect time for a lot of people to be considering how to create wealth, how to add new wealth, how to shift their wealth. There's so many different things changing right now, and many of you are very innovative. And so I brought on women who are really innovative. They've created their own path. And I want you to come out and just give us one or a few ideas about how can women create wealth right now, especially what's going on in the world. You know, you can't do exactly what you used to be able to do. So Laura, I'm going to bring you out.
All right. Well, wealth is always available. There's always money to be made. I started my marketing agency in a recession, and people said, "You're crazy. Marketing's the first thing to go." And I said, "Whatever, I'm good at it and I'm going to do it." And it'll be 11 years coming up on March 3rd. So I think I might've been onto something. But with that said, I think that the thing to do is look at what you already have available, what you've already done, and then focus on one thing at a time. I know that, you know, I can help with some pretty complicated funnels, but we don't need to complicate business up. We don't need to have all the things. There's always something that you have that you know how to do that people want right now, and you really just need to get it in front of the right people. So if you focus on finding the right people and showing them what you have and really connecting on a human level, then The rest will work itself out. And then we can come in and find where things are broken and fix it, which of course is my favorite thing to do. But finding the one thing that you can do to serve people that feels valuable and genuine in the place they are now and putting it in front of them, that it's really that easy.
Oh, it's so good. And I'm gonna give you a high five on that one because yeah. Remember, friends, earlier, I don't know if you remember how I said I've known Laura since I started my business, and then I reversed and I said, actually, I've known Laura since I've been making money in my business. The reason is I recognized after I met Laura, business is not about figuring it out by yourself. It's about getting help from people who already have been there. And like she said, get in front of the right people. Women, if you want to elevate yourself, go around some richer people, go around some people with doing business that you want to do that you're not doing yet. Go ask for help. If they say no, go ask somebody else. If you ask enough people, they will help you. And this sweet pea, Laura, like we became such good friends, and she really got me onto the online thing because I was kind of 1985 over here when we met. And I will say, and sometimes I'm still a little 1985. I still reach out to my people. I say, I don't know what I'm doing. Show me what buttons to push, and it's get in front of the right people. I love that. I mean, that's so
Strengths lie in other places.
everything. Why reinvent the wheel? Mm-hmm.
So when I have a strength of creating order out of chaos and helping you figure out where to focus first and how to present that to people online, that part's easy for me. I just know how to do it innately. But then we go to the part where you're like, and get on the phone and ask people for money. And I'm like, oh my God, how could I possibly? And you are so like, whatever, it's super easy. You just do this. And then you gave me script and confidence to do that. And that made a difference for me. So we don't all have the same talent. And thank God, how boring would that be?
That's true. I do love to ask for money, y'all.
Yeah.
All right. If you ever need help asking for money, reach out, saleswithlila.com, little plug. All right. Alexa, actually, I'm going to bring Sheryl out first. I'm going to bring Sheryl out because we're going to stay in order.
Okay.
The videos moved around. So Sheryl, will you share with us some innovative ways right now that women could create wealth?
So I think it's a conversation around investment, right? I think there are a lot of people who are still trying to cobble all the free stuff together, and you can download 10,000 free PDFs and you're still not going to have the path. You're still not going to have the roadmap in front of you to actually get you to where you're actually, profitable and wealthy. So if we're talking about wealth, it's more than just downloading a bunch of free PDFs from a bunch of free lead magnets. Those are great to give you some insight into, a specific area or whatever. I have a free lead magnet, but it's not going to solve all your problems. Okay, so you have to really start thinking about investment. Investing in yourself is never going to be a bad thing. And I'm talking about small amounts or large amounts, depending on what it is you're trying to accomplish. So I think we need to stop this conversation in our heads around, I'm just going to try to do this for free. You wouldn't build a brick and mortar business for free. That just doesn't happen. It's the same thing with online. It's just a different kind of business you're building. So you really have to have that conversation around where are you investing in yourself so that you can grow and be wealthy and be profitable. But to Laura's point, solve a problem for people. I know for us, especially from the agency perspective, and Laura, I don't know if you can agree with this, but we've created a product to help agency owners and social media marketing managers to be able to help their clients make videos faster. Like I do a 1 hour interview and I turn that into 3 months worth of video content. It took us some time to develop that, but it's a service that we know people need, right? So we're solving a problem. Same with the challenge. So it's like, figure out what the problem is and then what's the solution. That is far and away going to be the fastest way. And the other thing that I speak from experience with this, I had a tendency to be doing everything. It was like throwing all kinds of spaghetti at the wall. You need to find clarity. And I feel like I'm at that place now where I have absolute clarity around what it is I can do to truly help people achieve the transformation that they need. So I think it's around a few things. Invest in yourself, clarity around your offers, solve one single problem, not a problem that you aspire to change or to be an expert in the future. It's like, what is your expertise right now? Don't be 10 steps ahead of yourself. If you've never built a profitable business, you're not a business coach yet. Okay. It's like, where are you at right now? So it's like, we get a lot of people like that. They see these marketers out there and they go, oh, well, I want to teach online business. And I've had so many conversations with people and I'll go, okay, well, what kind of business have you created? Well, I haven't done it yet. Well, then you're not an expert at creating that thing yet, but what are you an expert at? Come to find out that in their corporate job, they were an expert at a specific type of software. Why don't you help people with that? Right? So it's just getting back down, in many ways, getting back to basics. Get back to basics.
Yes, I love this. I love this. I would love if you just take a moment, because you've seen this, and we've seen this in the world that we've been in for a while. It's like, so say somebody wants to be a business coach, they could do the software stuff first and then be a business coach later, once they build a successful business, right?
Right.
Yeah.
No, I see this I'm sure we all see this a lot, is that you have someone and they go, oh, I see other people who are business coaches. Therefore, and it's true, you can do it. If somebody else has done it before you, you can do it, but you have to accomplish that thing before you can then be an expert to do that thing. And that's what people are missing. They're like, I just want to be a business coach. Okay, great. However, if you've not ever built your own business and have gone through the journey of that, what gives you the credibility, the experience, the wisdom by which to package to teach other people to do that thing? I see this all the time. People are 10 steps ahead of themselves.
Yeah, I love this.
I would have loved, 7 years ago to have started teaching people how to build a business. I hadn't done it yet. So what did I do? I taught what I knew, video. Right? Now I've built a business. Now I'm in a position where I could teach business because I've done it. So it's like, don't be 10 steps ahead of yourself. You have to stick in your lane. And that is far and away the fastest path to building wealth.
And there's wealth in every lane. I always call them playgrounds. I love that. We call them playgrounds. There's playgrounds everywhere. There's wealth everywhere. And I think this is great. I work with a lot of, healers and spiritual teachers. And even it kind of relates to, like, it reminds me of this yoga teacher training. So there's a lot of people that might go and do a yoga teacher training. They get done and they think, I can't teach yoga. I'm not ready to teach yoga at all. Well, no, because you need to practice and practice. You got to, like, embody it. Otherwise it's like all from the head and it's wonky. And so there's, whether you're in yoga or a healer or building a marketing agency or a business coach or we've got my accountability partner on here, Elle Ingalls, stress management coach. If you're a stressed out person, you can't really teach stress management or high performance as well. So anything you're doing, what it is it kind of comes back to this beginning part of caring what other people think about you. Like, going out there 10 steps ahead might be a reflection of you wanting to look like bigger and different than what you really are and what you actually already have.
That's exactly it.
Right.
So I think that's exactly where that comes from. And it comes back to the people pleasing, right? It's like, well, people pleasing or, insecurity, right? Is people wanting to look a certain way. They're like, well, I need to look that way, even though I don't have the experience, the wisdom, and whatever to teach that. I'm going to pretend that I'm there. And that's where you see a lot of people selling programs and things that are beyond their scope. And then they're not, it's not going to really work out. So that's not a way to grow wealth. You have to stick in your lane and you've got to stick with your area of expertise. Like, that's what we really specialize in, is like the expert positioning. And this is what we do, is like, what are you an expert in? And when you start digging in and you realize through a lot of those conversations, you realize that those people aren't really expert at what they think they are.
Yeah. And I just love this because there's so many women here who could help other women just find out who they are in terms of their expertise, because many of us have been in the marketplace long enough that we can look at the market and say, oh, I actually just had a client last week who I said, hey, how do you feel like being in the relationship sector? Just go for it. Yeah. How does that feel? Because that's everything comes back down to relationship for you. how does this feel for you? Because this is what you're an expert in, you know, and it's the way she goes about it is a little bit different than a normal relationship coach. She goes through the, you know, I don't have to say what she does, but it was really clear to me because I knew where she could go and find clients and where it's going to be hard. And if you just go in this certain area, this is what you're expert at for now. And then this other area might be another area of expertise later. This is where you'll be known and create wealth and all of that. Yeah. So get help, you know.
Can I share just a real quick story? And this was a guy who I was talking with, and we were having a conversation, and he said, I took a real estate course recently. So now I want to teach other people how to do real estate. And I'm like, oh, okay, well, let's dig into that. And I'm just like, so you took a course. Yeah. And so tell me about your other experience. And he's like, that's it. I just took a course. Like, okay. And so now you're going to teach other people to do real, yeah, because there's a lot of money to be made there. Okay. So you see what I mean? Like that's, then come to discover he's actually an expert at other things through his corporate work. But it's not until we have that conversation that it comes out. And then he had an epiphany. Oh my gosh, I should teach that. Yes, you should, you know, so it happens all the time.
Real estate, even real estate. We've got a real estate, we're building her queendom over there in Ohio. So I think she's one of those, you know, researchers. So she's not going to take some training from someone who hasn't sold a bunch of houses basically, or bought a bunch of houses or whatever, you know, represented. So that makes sense. I love this. I love this conversation. We've got people in the chat saying, you know, making comments saying, love this conversation. So Alexa, will you come out and share some innovative ways that women can create wealth right now?
Yeah. So I have a few thoughts on this. The first one is there has literally never been a better time or a more opportune time to do what you love and get paid for it. Like there has never in the history. There is a little kid who's 7 years old who opens up toys on YouTube and is like the richest person on YouTube. Like you could do literally anything. Now you have to be aligned with it and you have to be open to, you know, the opportunities and turning this into a business. But my point is there has never been a better time to literally ask yourself, what do I love to do? Even if what you love to do is knitting, right? You could, this is just an example, but you could knit something right now, put it on Facebook or Instagram and potentially have 5 people that go, how did you knit that? I want one of those. How much? Right? So we're in this really highly connective time to start any sort of a business. And that really leads me back to asking yourself, which is what we started this conversation with, what do you love to do? What brings you the most excitement and the most joy? Because whatever that is going to raise your vibration and get you into a state where the doors are opening to you and there's ways to collaborate with this person and there's opportunities here and here and here. So that's number one. Do what you love, ask yourself what you love and start to do that in some way, practice that in your life. 2, community. Creating community is first, it's also never been easier to create community than now, right? You can create a Facebook group or you know, you can create community so quickly with just a Facebook group or something like that. And community is going to, if you find what you love and then you create community around that, you're drawing all these like-minded people, all this other creative energy towards you. You're all going to start co-creating and connecting. The community is what you can, I forget who said it before, but someone was talking about how, you know, you don't need that many people. You need just a small group of people who really love you and love what you do. And, you know, those people can be your clients or, you know, and I've had a lot of experience that with my podcast community. You know, when we first started, we've been going for 2.5 years now. And when we first started, we didn't have the biggest numbers by any means. You know what I mean? There's much bigger podcasts out there, but we were creating a 6-figure business with our podcast community because we're so connected with them. So create community around that, around the thing you love. And then a very like tangible thing I want to bring up here is something that is, I feel like really going to start to come to the forefront here in terms of ways to work with your community, is subscriptions / microtransactions. So subscriptions, you know, I'm sure we all know what that is, but there's a platform called Patreon where you can, have people sign up to be a patron, and every month they get charged a certain fee depending on what tier they're in, and you get to deliver them, different sorts of services or gifts, and get really creative with how you interact with your community. So subscriptions, I feel like, are going to become even bigger than they already are now. But also microtransactions in terms of, there's platforms. One of our sponsors right now is Hey Hero. Hey Hero is a platform that allows creators to connect with their communities, and basically allows their community to pay to ask them a question, and they can set the price. And the creator will send a customized video response back. So this really allows people like a different sort of touch point, right? It allows other people that are maybe just discovering you, maybe they know that you offer a big package, but they kind of want to get a little taste, right? To ask you a question, you to show up and provide an answer at a rate that feels good to you. They get a little taste of you, and they often end up buying in for more and becoming a bigger client. I think that the subscription slash, like the microtransaction model is a really amazing way to start bringing in people that might end up, eventually being bigger package, higher ticket coaching clients. And I think it's a really exciting thing that's developing.
Love it. So community, community, community. I mean, really, that's what you guys are a lot about, and you don't need that many people. So what I picked up here, even with you talking about, these subscriptions and microtransaction, it's that, and then you even mentioned, higher level clients, it's that you can offer multiple layers of things over time.
Yeah.
Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. And when I guess in my experience, what it's been is that when you're only offering that, high ticket program, let's say, and you have people that are interested in you, but they're not maybe at that level yet, or they're just they're not exactly maybe ready. If you give them these other touch points, they get to build a relationship with you on a bit of a smaller level. And then, they eventually will rise up and become those clients that you have for a really long time, or that really trust you, or that, you develop an amazing relationship with. I think it's really valuable to have different touch points, different levels, and ways to interact with your community, because they're all different revenue streams,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and as you build, you want to add more revenue streams. That's a lot of times when you have a business, you want to, as you build, and if you would have started out with all of these things in the beginning, it would have been a lot. But now you can do all these different layers, and that's what's neat about being part of community, is that you can learn more and support each other and grow and learn from people who are doing it, so you can do it faster. And
And one more thing I just want to say about the subscriptions is I really love the subscription model, like Patreon, for example. And the reason why is because you could have, let's say, 1,000 people in your community who really love you, really support you, and they each pay $20 a month to get some, exclusive experience with you. That's $20,000 a month, every month. And you're not going out and pitching every month. You're not, you know what I mean? If that's not really something you like to do, there's another way to, and you're sourcing just a little bit from each person, and you're providing a really exclusive, creative experience that your audience really likes. And so I think it's a really exciting model. It's a really exciting way to think about monetizing your community and connecting with them in a really fun way at the same time.
yeah, and what's neat about it is that, I would say my favorite part about what you've shared is that this is an opportunity for women to create something and receive, because there's a lot of women creating for free. And this is a way, for women to create for free if they're not at, just another way, right? And that's what I love about what everybody provided today. It was like, you gave ways for women to receive, right, for what they're putting out there. And you also gave them ways to figure out what to put out there, and ways to build the confidence to even get out there in the first place. So thank you, thank you, thank you. What I'm going to do now, we've got a few minutes left, and I'm going to see if any of our guests have any questions. And so Elle or Angie or anybody, yeah, Elle.
I have a question. So my son did Patreon too for his podcast. I was paying it a whole year after he had stopped his podcast, which is pretty funny. So yeah, it just keeps going, right? And I'm like, oh, I'll give him $5 every month. Who cares? So, but can you tell me, like, I've never explored the platform. Can people find you on Patreon or, okay, tell me about it.
Yeah. So yes, you get your own like URL, like a profile link. And basically you are in charge of how many tiers you offer as that creator on Patreon. So you could just offer one tier if you want to. You say, okay, I'm offering for $20 a month. If you get in on this tier, you get to be a part of my private Facebook group. And once a month, I'll go live on there and do intuitive readings for you guys. Let's just say, because that's like my world, right? Or you could say, okay, for $20 a month, you get like an exclusive sticker or comic or marketing strategy or, whatever it is. Or you could have multiple tiers, right? So it depends what tier people are in terms of what they get access to. And the great part about Patreon is it's a subscription, so it keeps going unless you opt out, but you can opt out at any time or you can jump up and down the scale at any time. And, subscriptions are a huge business model because a lot of the time, I'm sure you guys know, you'll just kind of, just like you just said, you're like, oh, whatever, it's $5. Like, but that $5, a lot of people do that. Oh, whatever, it's $5. I like them. It's my son. I like them, right? it adds up, And so, yeah, does that answer your question?
Yeah, thank you so much.
Lila, you're on mute.
You guys look at my face. Just look at my face. Anybody else? Anybody else have any questions? All right. Well, we're gonna
wanted to speak to the space. Anyway, I just thank you so much for all of this information. I'm kind of in process overload now, but I think I'm just feeling like I've had this conversation, like, I don't like Facebook, I don't like internet, boo hoo, like I've been working on it, but it's still been in this space. And just hearing the different speakers speaking today, I feel like, oh, it's totally doable. I could do this, and so I just want to thank you for that empowerment. Really, this is like, I feel like $1 million. So thank you.
I'm going to tell you, there's $1 million in this room, in this Zoom room right now.
I'll take it.
With this group of women, for sure. So you are feeling the right energy, baby. I love that. I love that. That's the truth. And so I really appreciate you guys. Listen, I love what Swara just shared. There's a lot of my clients actually I've signed up because they've seen me on Facebook on video, for example, or they've seen me speaking about Facebook and video, and we're the same way, like, no, I don't want to do it. And so there are people, women in this group, there's free resources that are being provided that'll be put in the Facebook as well, and the event page and email and YouTube and all the places that I put it. But if you're not sure how yet, learn a few tips, tricks, tools that work really well so that you have higher conversion faster. That's what I would always say. If you're going to do the social media thing, learn conversion so that you're not overworking. You could do a little bit and it can go a long way. All right. Thank you so much for being here. we're going to go offline, and then I'm going to stay online and and capture some of the notes that I took today. I always like to do that. I really, really appreciate your time. Your time is very valuable. And this is really a year of collaboration. And I am really grateful to get the insight and wisdom from all of you, because we, as women, the more we come together, the more we rise together. So thank you, thank you, thank you. Appreciate you.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
See you guys soon.